live.
Here we are. It's us.
Well, you're not live. We're recorded right now.
This is
But
from a previously recorded broadcast. Please do not call in.
dial now.
No.
Dial collect.
Previously recorded. Do not dial now.
Please do not. Oh my goodness.
Dude. Okay.
So round two.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I need you to tell everybody how you actually feel about this sweater. And don't lie.
That is a tall order about the sweater.
Listen, I love this sweater.
Look at the texture. Just look at this.
Just
get it nice.
like the way that it looks is the way that it feels, and it's so cozy. It's like
it seems like a matted wet dog. That's what it seems like. Like a matted wet dog.
What part of this looks like wet dog? It's like a sheep. It's like a
You know when sheep and laying in the mud?
No, it's not.
That's exactly what it looks like.
No. Okay, I need everybody to comment that this is the softest, fluffiest looking jacket. I have proof.
Now it's warm. I'm not gonna lie. It's warm and it does the job. I'm all about functionality.
No, listen to me. I have proof that this is the best. It's because whenever I wear this jacket, people say, oh, "You look so cozy," and then they give me a hug and they want to hug me longer.
You know that's why they say you look so homely.
Nobody says that to me.
But cozy's homely.
Do they say that to me?
I'm saying cozy's homely.
Do they say that to me behind my back?
They don't.
How many people have told you that I'm homely?
No one has told
Tell me how many.
No,
Give me a number.
I'm just saying.
Give me a number.
I'm
5 people? 2 people?
If they're like, oh, it's cozy. It's not like, hey, it's the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen.
Okay. I am not trying or claiming to be the most gorgeous thing anyone has ever seen. I never said.
I thought you were trying to go for that. Is it the most beautiful thing you've seen?
That was not what I said.
Oh,
that was not what If I was trying to go for gorgeous, I would wear a completely different outfit. This is the coziest, softest, most coziest thing. And I just said, do you like it? And I think that every time I wear this, you're like,
It's a good.
You give me one of these every time I wear this jacket. You're like,
It's like it is what it is. It's a job done. It's not like something fancy. Like I'm not saying. Look at me right now. I'm not like
you're in a wife-made tie-dye right now.
Wife-made tie-dye. So like it just is what it is. But the thing is,
you misunderstood the question.
I misunderstood.
I'm not saying don't I look so beautiful and ready for a night out in this jacket? I never said that.
What did you say?
I said, tell me how you really feel about this jacket.
Oh, it
and
looks
homely. Said, every time, it doesn't look soft, doesn't look cozy. People always give me compliments on this jacket.
Yes, it's very cozy. And that leads us to this, our first segment of the night, the shower thoughts. Oh.
Did it work?
Yes, it did work.
Nice.
So this is a little segment we like to talk about is shower thoughts. Let's explain, what are shower thoughts?
Shower thoughts are things that, honestly, you could have kept that to yourself. It's something that you thought about in the shower and then decided to say out loud, and you didn't really need to say it out loud. So we're going to share those with you. Anyway.
Do you have one today?
Do I have a shower thought?
I know it's usually me that brings it.
You're usually the one that says something, and then I say, honey, that was a shower thought.
Usually.
And it's like, it's usually when it's very random, something random that you say. My shower thought is something that I said to you today. I'm yawning. I apologize.
I wanted to keep it close up on her when you see that, just to see that we are two normal people, normal parents.
Tired parents at the end of a day.
At the end of the day.
Speaking of being normal, you need to wipe your nose on this side right there. Wipe your nose. Don't show it. Your boogie right there.
I don't see it. They don't see it either. Do you guys see a boogie? I don't see a boogie.
So you're just going to leave it there? I can see it. Do you care about what I see when I look at you? He sprinkles it like this. He wiped it and he sprinkles it.
It's like the salt guy.
You were like this.
Better than Joni. She gets up in the nose and then she eats it.
She scratches her brain up there and then comes back down.
That was a pet peeve. And my brother used to like, oh, we're not even going to talk about it. We're going to eat burgers. We're going to shut that down. No burgers on this channel.
Okay, so my shower thought. My shower thought story. It's like story time, shower thought story time. So it was cool. We set up our gym today.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really big one. our home gym, because we have gotten little bits and pieces here and there to put together to do our exercise routine. And as we're getting it all set up, we're doing our workout. Jeremiah reaches out, and I jumped into his arms, and then he started doing squats, and it was like, it was impressive.
I was gonna say that was like
impressive.
A top tier husband moment.
Yeah,
it's like where you can squat your own wife. Next is bench, and we're gonna get there. I probably could bench you.
Because the great thing is, the more you work out and the more I work out, the easier it'll be for you to bench me. So we both just work out, and then it's gonna happen.
It just happens.
Easy peasy. So, anyway, so Jeremiah squatted me a couple times, and then I was like, that's amazing. And you said, honey, I'll carry you off the battlefield. And I said, yes, but will you carry the trash out to the dumpster? And that, my friends, it was funnier in the moment, I think, but that, my friends, is the mark.
It was funny.
That's the mark of the true strength of a husband, is not just to do the valiant tasks, but the menial ones as well.
It is the menial ones. And I need to slow down. I do need to slow down. That's a big problem of mine. Because what I'm going to go do is more important than what I was doing. And that may be even eating.
Where is this going?
Nowhere. I would just...
Shower thoughts.
You know, the problem with shower thoughts, you can just go down the drain. You see right there?
I see. I saw it. I saw it.
It went down the drain.
It went. There it goes. Where it belongs.
A shower thought for me, you know, they come and go. And if I don't think write about it, it's so tough.
Like, you probably have some good shower thoughts to share, but you don't log them for saving it for the podcast.
Because I say them in the moment, and that's the thing about it. I say things in the moment. So Alyssa can catch them. You remember them. We need to start creating a list and bringing them. That was a shower thought.
We'll work on it. All right. I provided the shower thought for today, which was something that you did, and I said. So
yes.
It was a teamwork shower thought.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And
up next is our Cultural Minute.
It feels so newsy and official.
Well, you know, we're going to be officially sponsored by nobody.
Tonight at 11, the Cultural Minute, brought to you by the Trujillos, who have no idea what's going on in the world today, except for a couple things. A minute worth. We have a minute worth. A minute worth of things to discuss, basically.
Well, the big thing happening right now is, of course, the fires in California.
The Palisades.
It's pretty crazy to see the images, knowing people from our church, knowing people in our community that are being affected by this. Can you tell me a little bit? Do you know somewhat about the Palisades, right?
Not really. I mean, I know it's just it's one of those really wealthy beach communities in Los Angeles. It's it's where people have their
mm-hmm.
people either have their second home there, their beach home there, or it's movie stars live there. That's what I
And we
know
live
about.
in fire country, not country, fire Fallbrook is known, the area we live in. Let's bleep Fallbrook out, but the area we live in is technically, we have a lot of fires around here, so we understand the distress and when a fire starts up around here, it does get scary, and to see it burn through, it's awakening or shocking. Not not refreshing, but it's when you see it's makes it real.
Yeah. Well, I grew up here, so it's well, this is what we were talking about earlier today. It doesn't have to feel so structured, formal, language. It's very next we're talking about this. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Well, it keeps us on a schedule.
Yes.
If I don't talk like that, this thing is, I'm trying to turn it around from last week, because if we don't talk in a formal line, we'll go off, and it's okay to go off.
I don't mind going off.
You don't mind going off.
I feel like last week you were a wild bucking horse, and this week you're a little stiff. Well, how do we find the middle ground? Should I stop criticizing you? Okay, let's just go with that one. So
we'll start there.
Listen. So I wanted to bring up the fires because so this happens a lot. We live in a high burn area like Fallbrook burns all the time. Like at least once a year, there's like a fire that gets us all a little like, ooh, like, is that going to get out of control? We don't know. And then every 5 to 7 years, like it does. And like Fallbrook burns, and that's what happens. And I grew up here, so I'm used to that. And when I mean used to that, I mean like I have gotten those notifications. We've been evacuated multiple times. Like I know what that feels like. It's not used to it. It's like the familiarity of like, here we go again, back into like a crisis. And, thank God, like I've never had like my own personal home burned down. But the neighborhood we're living in right now burned down before.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me feel like we're in a precarious place.
Yeah, to know the place that has known destruction.
Yes.
And
so whenever I hear about the fires, I feel like I do sympathize a lot with that, having grown up my whole life in Southern California. And also, like, today, like, I don't know if you guys have the app called Watch Duty. It has its own, it's a fire notification app, and it has its own special little, like, notification sound. And just hearing that sound, like, ever since I got the app, which I'm glad I have it because it's warned me about things going on around with enough time to feel like, oh, okay, like, I know where that is, and I know how prepared I need to be. I know how much time I might have before that would affect me, whatever. It's helpful, but it also just kind of sends a chill down my spine. Like every time I hear that, like, do, 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 like whatever it is, it's like, it gives me a little bit of that panic, and it really distracts me from what's happening. 'Cause it's like PTSD, I guess,
absolutely.
But I mean, I get that. I get that whole feeling, and it's no fun.
No fun.
It's no fun. It's no good. It's a crazy thing happening.
Crazy thing.
There's like a lot of ways to donate too.
Yeah. Look them up. There's plenty of ways. Online. GoFundMe's.
Yeah, and it's like donations to like shelters and like certain things to help the people who are
One cool
displaced.
thing I saw was people, even in our community, are opening up their Airbnbs for a discounted rate.
Displaced.
A
discounted rate.
Yeah, discounted rate for the displaced.
Gotcha.
So like if you're in need, there's an Airbnb that you can stay in that's cheaper.
That's really nice.
Now I don't know how much cheaper, but
yeah,
I feel like at one point, like you just.
I saw this one person online who like they bought an entire block of hotel rooms, and they were like, reach out to us and we'll put you in one of the rooms. Like they just like bought out a whole floor of rooms.
That's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
People are incredible.
So cool. Yeah.
Okay. Next up.
That was our cultural minute.
We did our
first cultural minute. We're happening with the times.
In this podcast, you're going to feel different things.
What?
You're going to feel good.
What kind of things?
Well, just like you're going to go ups and downs. So, we want to make sure that we want to keep the cultural minute a cultural minute.
Did I talk too long?
No.
Oh.
You didn't talk too long. I'm just saying, like, we want to make sure that we keep it short because sometimes culture brings us down.
You know what? Fun fact. I hate culture. That's a strong word. I don't like culture. I don't like, you know what's really ironic? This is going to let me just tangent for 1 second.
Okay. Go.
I can't stand social media. I don't use Instagram. Is that my personal Instagram?
The boomer in you, or is that
I don't have a boomer in me. I'm 33. I don't have a boomer in me at all.
Anyway, let's move on. Was that the granola in you, or like the?
Well, I mean, it's for sure the anxious millennial in me who like got addicted to social media all through college, and in our early years married. And it wasn't until we were 4 years married and I had my second baby, and I was like, all I do is compare myself to every other mom on Instagram. And
isn't that like that's not like social media's fault. That's you being addicted to it.
So yes. And so this is what I've learned. Like what I've learned is I can't stand the way social media is set up. is designed to be addictive and designed to keep you there and keep drawing you in. So I had a really hard time setting boundaries for myself, being like, this is what I'm using it for. This is because I loved seeing like, tips from other moms, like recipes or like cleaning hacks or like parenting advice and like
Yeah.
all these really cool things I enjoyed. And then, or even like products and advertisements. And I was like, oh my gosh, this thing. And I bought it and it like was amazing and helpful. Like there's good sides to it. But like that amount was like this much. And then like the time that I would personally spend in the, what do they call it now? I don't know. It's like a black hole
Yeah, it's
of comparison
the
and death scrolling.
doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling. I would do that and be like feel terrible.
Mhm.
So I stopped using it altogether back in, I don't know, 4 years ago. And ironically, here we are starting up a podcast, trying to get on social media.
Well, it's not even try to get on social media. It's again, we're here to bring light.
Well, I know
into
why
the
we're
dark,
here,
deep, dark corners.
but
of
you
the-
can't go to the deep, dark corners without being skilled in social media.
Yeah.
You have to be able to like make reels, make shorts,
Mhm.
make little clips and respond to comments and get in there and like find the hashtags and do the algorithm
Yeah.
thing and check your stats. Like that's doing social media.
Yeah.
You got to get in there.
You
Got to
gotta
get in the
there, you
weeds.
gotta tear it up. You gotta tear it up.
Get in the weeds. And that's like the thing that I had pulled away from so long ago.
Well, I would say it's the same as like, but what I was going back to is when you're saying, well, I hate social media because it's like, it causes
It's my own
but
flaws,
yeah, absolutely,
for sure.
because it's the same excuse people use. Excuse me.
It's gross. You guys hear that phlegm?
It's the same excuse that people use when it's like, well, video games cause violence, and video games are the cause of this. And it's like, no, it's the
Having an unhealthy boundary
Yes,
with it is what
exactly.
causes that.
So
Guns don't kill people.
okay, hot take.
go.
Should we do a hot
The
take?
spoon didn't make you fat. I'm just saying that's like the same thing you're saying.
Yeah,
it's not the tool.
It's not the tool.
It's the way you use
It's
it.
the user. It's a user
error.
error. That could we won't get canceled for that, but that puts us in a box. Because some people say the opposite,
That's true.
but we
But-
won't go down that route.
We're not here to talk about that.
Yeah,
Mostly
you know
because
what's
we
funny
have no
is,
idea
like,
what we're talking about.
Are we contrarian? I heard that word for like not the first time, but maybe for the first time.
Maybe.
I'm not gonna admit or deny.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
they're saying, I feel like you're being contrarian. I
What
was
does
like,
that mean?
What? Well, contrarian means is like
Yeah.
whatever you say, I'm gonna be opposite just cause. So like
Devil's advocate for the sake of conversation and to
just
learn
like,
and
if
grow.
that's that could be your personality. So like if you said like,
Mm.
if you like chocolate, I think chocolate's more, and I think vanilla is where it's at.
Just to be.
Just cause I met people like that.
I
was like,
have met
"Oh
people
my
like that.
goodness."
It's such a bother.
It's
Just
like, are
shut
you
up.
serious? Like no, that's not popular opinion. You just want to go against the stream because you feel like
just to do
you're a
it.
stick in the mud.
Yeah. Stick in the mud.
Stick in the
but,
mud.
I don't know. Stick in the mud sort of implies that you just like. Does that imply being adversarial, or does that imply just being like stuck in your ways, don't want to change? I feel like stick in the mud is like.
But that could be changed. The meaning could be changed. You know
Yeah.
what the meaning of a word that has changed that I thought about, like on a tangent of like words changing, or like is tool. You're being a tool. Just a quick thing. When I hear you're being a tool,
Being
no,
jackwad.
no. What I knew for the true understanding of being a tool is
your original understanding.
someone that is you use. It's someone that you use. So, for example, Johnny, we know Johnny down the block. He pays for gas always, no matter what we do. Call up Johnny. He'll pay for gas. We'll go up to the Waffle House. So they call up Johnny. Johnny hops in. Thanks, Johnny. They don't tell him. They know he's a tool. He knows he's a tool. He's paying for gas. That's what a tool is. You use a tool.
So a person that you're intentionally taking advantage of and using.
Yes.
Okay, so you're the actual tool in the situation. You're
Well,
being a jackwad.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's words.
You're
that
just
change.
it's just dawning on you that you've been on the opposite end of that
no,
this whole time.
no.
You were the tool.
Wait, no.
You heard it here first, everyone. He's the tool. And he pretended like
She called
somebody
me a
else was
tool.
the tool. That's interesting, though. That's a good point because that is a more
I think
appropriate
it's a great point. I think it's the accurate view and point of that.
I think that's
And
a
I'm
more.
not being contrarian. I like to use big words when I know them. Grammar is amazing.
I think that is the more appropriate use of the word tool.
Yeah.
I think it makes more sense. But whenever I hear people say it, the context sounds like you're just being a jerk. That guy's such a tool.
Absolutely.
Which is funny. It's like, where do words come from? Okay, we are gonna go right back. That was our cultural minute.
Cultural minute.
And a little more. Plus more.
Plus more. All right. Next
Cultural
up
minute plus
is
more.
our fun segment here.
We're just having we're having a great time with our transitions. I don't know if you guys can tell. Like Jeremiah is so excited to use them that he's like formally transitioning.
I love them because the music really sets the tone as we go into the next tiny takeaways.
In the Tiny Chair podcast, we are doing tiny takeaways. Can you tell I'm yawning?
Yes.
Sucked it in. All right.
Suck it in. Suck it in now.
I had a professor in college who told our class, no yawning in my class. If you have to yawn, clench your jaw and squeeze it out your eyes.
Does that look?
No, you're like, when you're like, that's how you hold it. Stop that face. Don't do that.
What's the face?
Don't do that. So, tiny takeaways.
I'm bringing you the tiny takeaways today.
Okay.
So camera right there, lock in. Right there.
All right. Hit us.
Tiny takeaways.
Hit us, Jerry.
Zoom us in. Just kidding. You can't. There's no one there.
Jerry is our camera operator. He's actually a ghost.
Our
imaginary friend.
Tiny takeaways is this. Being loud doesn't mean necessarily heard. The louder you get doesn't mean what you being heard means.
You need to start a sentence from the beginning.
tiny
Scrap
takeaway-
that from the top.
Tiny takeaway. Being loud is not necessarily means being loud does not necessarily mean you're being heard.
You got there. You got there.
There's a lot of words like that.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what, guys?
This is a pat of the shoulder.
Okay, I don't mean to sound condescending, but let me just tell you guys
how far I've come.
Yes, and does that sound condescending? Because I was gonna say that. I really was, because when I met this man, that
she fell in love with.
He didn't know how to read or write.
What does that say about you?
Ooh, good question. I love a project.
I'm definitely a project. Was I like your final paper?
That was
your final.
That was when I realized. Thesis? When I realized how much I love DIY.
That was good.
I'm joking. He could read and he could write.
Barely.
But and I'm talking like okay.
I wish we had the text.
I wish we did too. So here's the thing. You, as a child, you would share this. Can I share this on the podcast?
Can share it. Okay.
You were in speech therapy as a child for mumbling, stuttering, right?
Yeah, S's and yellow.
I can see the trauma building up in your eyes.
Sally sold seashells.
Yeah.
Seashore.
So you were in speech therapy for that, and so you did genuinely have a hard time in the beginning, and you're a pastor now. You preach to the people of God.
It's definitely like a Moses story.
It's a Moses story. It's really cool. Moses was not a good speaker. and Aaron spoke for him, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you grew into a speaker to speak for yourself. And it's really cool. Like, I'm your Aaron sometimes,
Most times you're my Aaron.
but like not when you're preaching on stage at church. My point is, you started out, it was not just like, oh, Jeremiah talks fast. It was like you genuinely, like, you needed speech therapy. It was, and so like when I poke fun at like the way you said something or this or that, like we have
Yeah, we're good. Like,
rapport.
we're good. It's
good
not
fun.
like Alyssa's like a Joe Blow off the street, and I'd be like,
You don't like it when other people
Yeah.
make fun
it's
of
like a-
your stutter or something like
I think
that.
it's a deeper love language of mine to be made fun of.
Oh, but it's like very deep.
Very deep.
And only a few can see within the
Only-
depths.
And we're
of
inviting you all
the
in there. So
darkness.
in the comments, they're gonna start.
They're going to be like,
Duh,
"Duh,
duh,
duh, duh,
duh,
duh."
duh. So my tiny thoughts is this: going back, being heard does
No.
not mean being seen.
No, try.
No. All
Is-
that to say is
That
this
one
was a
wasn't.
lesson.
That one wasn't a stuttering issue. That was a thoughts issue.
Thoughts upon thoughts. Okay, so this is it.
Being
earlier-
loud
yeah, being loud.
doesn't mean being heard.
you.
Explain what you mean by that.
So what I mean by that is, earlier, I have a tendency with my children to just say, "Hey, get this stuff done. Pick up the stuff on the floor, knock it off, keep doing it. Pick up your shoes, put them away, then grab yourself a lunch, and then do this and this and this and this." And I
Grab yourself some lunch.
and then I say,
Joni's like, I'm too.
and I say, "Suck it up. Let's get it done." So, all that to say is, I don't just say it like in that tone. I start going higher and higher, not in pitch, but in like
volume.
volume. Like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Get it done. And pick up your shoes. Where are your shoes? Put on your socks. What did I say?" And Alyssa says, "Honey, you're overloading them."
Overwhelming them.
Overloading and overwhelming is the same. It's
Intimidating.
an acronym. It's a synonym. So in saying that, right? Saying that, she said, she showed me. She's like, when I feel the most passionate, when I feel the most the rise up in me, that is when I lower my voice, slow it down, and then go for the jugular.
What? Did I say that?
You pick up your stuff. No, she didn't say that. But she says, then you grab their attention, and the less words you use, the easier it is to communicate because they're only 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Their
I
brain
said-
cannot literally understand anything you're saying.
I
They
said
have a hard enough time understanding the words coming out of my mouth. So the volume does not help.
no. I said that the less words you use, the more impact those words will have, because it wasn't that you were yelling at them in this moment. It was that you were saying so many things and like repeating. Like, I said, get your shoes. You need to go inside. Get your shoes. You don't listen to me. Get in your shoes. You need to go inside. And it was like, hold on. Just look at him and say, go get your shoes on. And like, let that be the end. And then he has a choice to either obey or disobey. And then whatever his choice is in that moment, then you go from there. You choose to do the thing that I asked, or you're choosing not to. And we can talk about that from there. But they're not picking up everything. If it's just a constant stream of words, that's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for grown-ups to get that too. It's like a lecture, And then you also yelled at them today too. And then I was like, let's just, which I
Well,
also,
not like, okay, my yelling.
I also yell sometimes.
But not like, I'm not screaming. There's a difference between yelling at
No.
our house and screaming. So I want to make that clear. Oh, look at that. The screen went out. But
yeah, we're not talking like blow the lid off the top, like screaming. It's sort of like that. I feel like the reason that I find myself yelling at the kids is because they act as though they literally cannot hear me when I use a normal volume.
yeah. And it's not until you react where they react.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you didn't hear me? Let
Yeah.
me say it louder. And then
Part of that's
all of a
the way
sudden,
we've been raised.
all of a
too.
sudden mommy's yelling, and then I'm like, why? How did I get here? And we rewind, we come back, and I tell them,
I would
Mommy, I
say
tell them I'm
oh,
sorry for yelling and I should not be yelling. Can you practice listening to me and the directions that I gave when my voice sounds like this? Because if you don't do it, it makes me think you can't hear me.
our children may be deaf.
They're not.
They're not. So
That's
saying
not
that
funny.
is this.
It would be really cool if they were sign language.
Don't yell at your kids.
And our tiny takeaway is we are not the best parents every day.
No. Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. We're not the best parents every day.
That's such a good point, Jeremiah. Thank you for
I
saying
was just going to
that.
say we're not perfect. We're learning and growing. But because I knew you.
Because I knew you. Everything is wicked. So
I've been changed for the better.
That's all. It's really just, guys, honestly, that conversation is not something I would probably want to post on the internet, but it's just honest.
And the thing is, we never claim to be experts, and we're not saying that we have the right way.
We're saying that we're broken vessels and we're doing a lot of things
100%.
wrong.
And we always said that from the very beginning on our channel that we are two duds.
Dudsville.
Duds
McGee's.
Walking duds.
Walking duds.
And so
and it happens in a lot of ways.
Do you know how we survive every day? By the grace of God.
Mm-hmm.
And saying that.
And we're always growing. And I love the way that you brought that story up is that like we both are free to correct each other, even in the moment. And I know that that's hard. And I know that sometimes it doesn't feel good. And there's times where I could have more tact with you when I'm correcting you in front of the children.
The biggest thing is.
But there are times where I say like, we don't need to yell. And you're like, oh, rein it in. And same thing with me where you're like, honey, you're getting upset. Go take a second. And we just correct each other. I feel like that example of correcting each other in the moment to be more loving is like one of the greatest things we can show our kids because they lose their tempers too. And then it's a good way to be like, hey, we all can just step in for each other and say, let's all try to calm down. Let's all be calm.
Well, and the biggest thing is it's like, one is the reason why you talk to me in a certain tone is because you only talk to children like 95% of the day. And so that is the way that you carry yourself when you're like in the home. Like it's the way you talk. And so I don't hold that against you. Secondly, I know your heart. Mm-hmm. And I think when you know your spouse's heart and you know the depths of love that they have for you, you'll always come back there on the same team. They're not against me. And so when she's telling me to correct myself, the only reason I puff up is because I know I'm wrong. Like there's never been a time where I'm like, I'm right in the situation and you need to back off. Never. Mm-hmm. And so like it's always coming to that. And it's cool how we have that dynamic. I love you.
I love you.
So
and we're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
And this conversation is like not a great example of like a great parenting moment. It's just a true honest one.
Well, the thing is, it's not about having great parenting moments. It's about like raising your kids in a healthy manner. And like when you're two ridiculous people, sinful people, selfish people, all these different things, you're going to have your missteps. Mm-hmm. And our goal is to like, we are not the ultimate example for our children. Christ is. Mm-hmm. And so like, we will always point them to him because we will let our children down. Mm. And so the beauty of us parenting in this brokenness is that like, that's when God's light shines through. Mm-hmm. That's when they'll see grace and they'll see forgiveness and they'll see love all through that brokenness. And if it was a perfect, they would not see that.
Yeah.
And we're just real.
Yeah.
We're real talk.
Real talk. I invited the kids to, mostly Judah, who understands. I invited him to tell me, like, if I'm getting frustrated, I invited him to tell me, Mommy, you don't need to be upset.
Yeah, there's a balance there, right? Because they need to have, you got to be careful.
Balance of respect and also, and I told him that, like, it's only if Mommy is, she needs to come in. It's that balance of telling Mommy, you don't need to be upset. And then also working with me, right? Because I tell him the same thing. I'm like, if he's losing control and I tell him, honey, you don't need to be upset. Let's talk it out. Then like he can say that to me. You don't need to be upset. Let's talk it out. And we have that like agreement, which is really sweet because we both lose our patience and lose our tempers and we work together on it. You know?
Yep, you're a team. We're a team. Team Trio.
Nice.
All right. Next
that
up,
was a great
tiny
takeaway. And tiny, it wasn't tiny. It was a normal size takeaway. But this is the Tiny Chair podcast, so it's a tiny takeaway.
We got to have one tiny in there, right?
What?
Tiny, like tiny. Anyway. Here we go. Going back. Let's throw it back. Let's finish strong, guys.
All right. We are doing our most requested segment.
Most requested segment. Let this play so they see it. Oh, I didn't.
Q&A day,
Oh.
baby.
Huh.
What have you done?
What have I done?
Q&A day. Guys,
Yeah,
we're
so a
throwing
little
it back.
behind the scenes yep.
You could just finish the word. Don't
I
give
got-
up. Don't give up. Keep trying. I think I can. I think I can.
You should become a motivational speaker throughout this day.
But it's just all condescending the whole time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have our Q&A a day. Boom.
This is our cue, and we're about to give you our A.
All right, let's see if it focuses here. Boom, look at that.
You know that it's facing the other way. The question's facing us. There you go.
No, I know that. It was a reveal. It was like,
Oh, don't reveal. That's all right.
Peekaboo.
They're not going to be able to read
okay, here we go. Boom. Here's our Q&A. Can you read it?
No.
Oh, right there. Yeah, they could look at it.
Okay, what does it say?
It says,
Hit me.
if you were to be famous.
Just look at it like a normal person. Just read
okay.
it the way that people read.
If you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Is this what would you want to be famous for, or is this what you would actually be
No,
famous for?
actually, it's not what you want to be. It's what you actually through your nature and cause.
Okay, mine's both. Mine's both what I hope I would be and want to be and maybe would be.
A Broadway singer.
No.
Off Broadway.
No, I can't
Off
sing.
Broadway.
Off Broadway people are still really good.
You're really good.
I'm not a good singer. I don't have any technical ability with singing. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You can
I can mimic good
You're-
singing.
You would be a mime.
Yeah, well, this goes into what I'm saying.
Okay.
A comedian. I couldn't say it with a straight face.
You couldn't.
I would do stand up.
You couldn't
comedy.
take the criticism.
No, that's 100% true.
You could
I
not.
wouldn't want
you would go
any-
up there and you would shut it down.
No. I would do my bits, but I wouldn't want anyone to ever not like me, or I would die inside. So yeah, but I think I'm funny. But probably better.
I think
better
you
than,
are funny, but I think you're better a storyteller.
I was just gonna say writing.
So you would probably make
storytelling and writing.
You
I would
probably
be
make a good Audible reader.
Do I have a voice for that?
No,
when
that's
I
the
hear,
funny thing about it. They
Oh.
would select your books because you'd be like, and your darn chimney, the chimney. What's the
Is that how
three?
I talk?
No, you say like,
Oh, you mean when I'm doing character voices?
Character voices.
Oh, my character voices are excellent.
yeah, what's it like?
I thought you
"And
meant
all
just
through the
like
house.
my regular reading
There
voice.
was a your old grandma who squeaked like a mouse.
Oh, so do you want to hear? Do you want to hear
Yes.
my night?
Look
my,
into your camera.
my night before Christmas.
Take
Twas
your-
the night before Christmas.
Take your take.
This is how I do it for the kids. His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks like roses. His nose like a cherry.
Like a sherry. So she does those voices
You're
all
right.
the time.
I could do voices, but I think
My
truly,
voices are not as good.
authentically, storytelling in whatever manner that is, through video or whatever,
I
but
feel like
also,
a podcast would be really good for you.
should I?
I think.
Stupid. No, and storytelling, and also like writing specifically. So like I think I always wanted to be an author when I was
Mm.
young, that I would like go away on retreats and just write on my own, just write books,
Mm.
travel and write books. And then I was like, oh, People do that and then like make no money.
Yeah.
So I need like a real job.
Yeah.
But
Then you got married and like all your dreams went out the window.
no, all my dreams came true. Look at us.
Because I knew you,
Do,
I've been changed for the better. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
That's how the trailers are gonna open up. By the way,
That's our prediction.
Anyway,
Let's try to go one podcast without talking about Wicked. It's really hard. Jeremiah, if you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Here's the headline: Man falls off ladder. Got her.
You really got me with that. You really got me with that one. Did you plan that?
No, I knew it was
Did
gonna
that
be.
just come out right now, or when you saw the question earlier, were you
I
like
knew it was
brewing
gonna
that?
be a tragic accident. I didn't know what tragic accident would come out of my mouth, but I knew it was gonna be tragic. It wasn't gonna be perfect.
It's so true.
I would probably be like,
That's
he was standing
hilarious.
on 2 ladders while holding paint and
Trying to connect the mic up at the top of the church sanctuary, which is 3 stories up. That's the funniest thing. I didn't even think about being famous for some kind of headline, some awful headline.
Man falls 3 stories. He couldn't read the signs. And then
climb.
an illiterate man from birth climbed an unclimbable
Do not climb.
dune.
Dead.
Xing.
Dead.
It said Xing. X-wing. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. That was so funny.
There's gonna be one of those.
That's like a call my sister moment. Should that be a segment?
Oh, call my sister.
Call your sister.
Think she's awake.
We should do a segment called Call Your Sister.
Should
This
invite
is
her on.
like
I shouldn't try to invite her on right now.
anything. No, she's probably not.
Let's see.
No.
Let's just see.
But it's like anytime something really hilarious cracks me up a lot,
Oh.
I have to call my sister and tell her because we like to laugh about it together. And most of the time it's like Jeremiah's shower thoughts or things that Jeremiah has said that make no sense or make me laugh really hard. And that's one of them. That was a good one. So every time I say something funny or he says something funny, one of us will be like, oh my gosh. He'll be like, call your sister. I'll be like, I got to call my sister. And it's funny. One time Judah said it. Judah made me laugh really hard one time. He said something and I was dying and he goes, mommy, call your sister, which is like funny that he said that because you say call your sister.
I do.
But like he calls her Auntie Bree. Like he should have said, Mom, you should call Auntie Bree. But like you always say, oh, call your sister. So he goes, Mommy, call your sister.
Well, because they're a good judge of like, is something kind of funny or not funny. They're kind of not partisan to like, I don't know. Not bipartisan.
You don't know what bipartisan means. It's okay.
Oh, here we go.
Did she accept?
She accepted. Did she?
Oh.
Oh, yes. You there?
Did it work?
It worked.
Oh, there she is.
Real quick. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Assign solo. Add to the left.
But my face has an X on it.
There we go.
Oh, there
Okay.
it is. Hey,
You're
this
on
is
with
way
us.
better.
You're on with us right now.
You're on
This
with
is
us.
so smooth.
You're on. You're on with us. We're on.
Okay.
love
real
it.
quick. We want to share. We're thinking about doing a new segment on this. Okay. Because I shared
Called-
something really funny.
Ask Bree if it's
And-
funny.
Yes.
Is it? Is it? No, the segment is going to be called Call Your Sister.
Yeah. Is it funny?
Yes.
Is it funny?
Is it funny?
And are you guys recording right now? Because
We're recording. We're not live, but we're recording.
okay, because like the people need to know that like we say when something is funny, we say call your sister. Like so much so that your kids, your
Yes.
6-year-old
You're
kids
literally
go,
repeating a
"That was
story
funny,
Elizabeth
call your
just shared. That's
sister."
hilarious.
I just told this story. I just told the story where I said,
Oh, sorry.
even my son has said, "Mommy, call your sister," which is hilarious because he calls you Auntie Bree, but he's like, "Call your sister," because we say that so often. So do we tell her the funny thing
Tell her.
after everybody just saw it happen?
Okay, live reaction from Bree.
Okay.
Yes, because it's how you tell stories,
Okay, so
and I want to know the funny
I
thing.
know Alyssa's gonna share it, so we're gonna hear from
I'm going to
Alyssa's
tell you
perspective.
what he just said. Okay, so we're doing Q&A right now, and the Q&A the card says, should we ask her the question? That would be kind of fun. It says, if you were famous, what would you be famous for? Do you want to answer it?
Like truly, what would I be famous for?
Yes, because I said, what do I want to be famous for, or what am I actually famous for? And he said, actually. So let me finish telling the story, and then you can think about your answer. So I said a couple things, but
She said comedian. She said she'll be famous for a comedian.
and he
That's
Let's be
true.
honest.
That's
and he goes,
true.
well,
I was just saying she couldn't handle the criticism. I was just saying
Yes.
she couldn't handle the criticism.
but I then changed my answer to like storytelling or being a writer or something like that, right? Like,
Or a podcaster.
and he goes, or a podcaster, and I was like, what? Great idea. And then I was like, okay, Jeremiah, your turn. If you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Look her in the eye.
And he goes, he said, man falls off ladder. And he did like the headline gesture.
So good.
Man couldn't read sign that said, do not climb.
I kept at it. It was like I was on one. I got the tick. I got it.
That's good. That's good.
I was dying because I was like, it didn't even cross my mind to think of like being famous for something you don't want to be famous for, like that. Like, or like a
I
headline
was
or an
gonna say,
accident.
like my thing that I would be famous for would probably be like going viral for like falling on stage and breaking my nose or something.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
you would be
Yeah.
famous for
I
like.
know what she'd be famous for, but I won't say it on the cast.
Why
What
not?
is it? Like
You
a
have to
wardrobe
say-
malfunction?
No. It's more like no.
You have to say it
I don't want to
now.
say it.
Yeah,
'cause
now you have to say it.
because I think it has to do with limping. And I'm not gonna say anymore because I don't want to get you in trouble.
Brianna would be
But that would be you would be outed, and it would be not pretty. It'd be
scandalous.
scandalous all over.
Scandalous.
Because then it would showcase all the other people who do the same thing. But we're not gonna go there.
So
Do that?
Do we share?
maybe just you.
Bree, do you want to share the story or no?
No.
She knows. Okay.
No.
Okay, if you guys post this part, and if you guys get 1,000 subscribers, I'll tell the story.
Okay. 1,000 subscribers. You heard it here.
Okay, she'll tell the
But
story
until
of her
then,
deepest shame.
What would you be famous?
until then, it's just telling people that I know in real life, and I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. So, okay. So, what would you be famous? You could throw in what would you want to be famous for, and then also what would you be famous for?
Well, I think that I would want to be famous for probably like completely changing my personality and being likable and funny.
Changing everything about myself so everybody can approve of me.
Lovely.
Yes. I would be the
Lovely.
first ever
Perfect person that everyone loves.
perfect, everyone likable, 100% likable, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That would be my goal.
Ooh, 100% Rotten
Hey,
Tomatoes.
you're 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with me.
Because I knew you.
Da, 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 da. Da,
That's been
da,
our theme
da,
song for the
da.
day.
Every time Jeremiah says something thoughtful, he goes da 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 da.
That's good.
And we're trying not to.
That's good.
We've already referenced Wicked so many times in this podcast.
It's popping. We talk about culture.
Yeah, we
We're
do.
You know
we're
what?
culture
Yeah,
cast.
it is.
We're
It's-
cultured.
We're cultured.
We're super
I was
cultured.
gonna say it's popular culture.
Ooh.
We're gonna talk about popular
No.
culture.
I'm a little off there.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
warm up.
just a little.
Just gotta
The
warm
warm
up.
up will fix it for sure.
Pack of cigarettes I just smoked. All right.
Okay,
So-
but do you have
No,
have
that's-
what you probably would be famous
Oh
for?
yes. Well, You
I
said falling
think
off a
that,
stage, breaking your nose.
Yeah, falling down. Someone filming her
yeah,
falling
probably
off a stage.
being really embarrassed. Like, probably like super cringe. Sub-Zero cringe. But what would I want to be famous for? I would actually want, no, I think that like what
What
I
if
would
you
want to
were
be famous
famous?
for and what I'd most likely to be famous for is being Theo's mom if I continue at this rate. Because
Ooh,
he's
yeah.
so cute and he's so likable.
Oh no,
Did it go away?
And
it did. 1 second.
Oh no, hold on. We lost the visual.
that's okay. You can hear what I'm saying. I just he's so cute that I would go down as Theo's mom.
Yeah, that like that kid who's adorable
Yeah.
and made his mom millions on Instagram.
Yeah, but the
Um,
laws are changing now because I've said that. I've said that out loud. I was like, he's so cute. I need to make him a baby model. He needs to buy me a house. And then people
mhm.
were like, you know that you legally can't have any of that money. Like
Yeah.
one of my friends, her kid was in a commercial and made $5,000, and the mom was able to get like basically just the gas money out of it, but the rest of it's like in a
They
In a
need
like
safe
the
better
place.
agents.
yeah, in a safe place that the parent cannot touch.
Yeah, that makes
No, I
sense.
think you birthed the child. You should be able to entitled to some more than 5,000.
No, but the child did the work.
He did the work, but you brought him there. You
Yeah,
birthed
so you
him.
get the gas money.
You get more than gas. Okay, this is a different topic for another time. I think a half is good.
No,
Um,
because to a certain extent, I think that like if it's a baby, yes, but if it's a kid that needs to learn lines and stuff, like they should get all of the money.
Okay, there you go. They're contributing. But if it's a
Like at a
baby, it's like you
certain
still got to pay for
age?
diapers and
Yeah, if
formula.
it's a baby that's getting paid for being cute because I made it, then I should get.
This is how we get canceled.
Yes.
I was
Um,
just gonna say this is what I'll be famous for.
I think
Okay.
I
All right,
think
we're gonna wind down this segment because we're
I just think that there's much more to say here, and we're all just being funny.
we'll just leave
Try
leave it on the table. We'll just leave it
Oh,
on the table for
yeah.
next week. We'll bring up the baby conversation next week.
Let's never bring it up again.
Let's cut this entire part out.
Just scrap it.
I love that though. I love that you would get to have an adorable child that people love and adore. If he gets his fair wages, which I agree with as a person who agrees with
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right, Bree. You have
So-
a good night. What's your sign off on these nights? You have to work on your sign off.
I've never done this before,
Right now.
so I don't have
Right
a
now. Sign
sign
off.
off.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Bye.
and cancel.
No,
It's
no.
just gonna be like,
do it.
you know how like
I think
what
he
was
really
that?
was trying to
You know
end it
how
right there, and now
you
he
know how
can't.
Jimmy Neutron used to say like got a blast? I'm gonna also say some. I'm gonna be like got a toot.
Perfect ending. Got a toot. God, did you plan that?
Yeah, I did. So,
So perfect.
hey, everyone, thanks for joining us on
Oh,
today's
man.
show.
It's a good time.
It is a classic. Time flies by. I am so glad that we get to be on here. I'm excited to go live.
I don't know if we'll ever get to go live. I feel like we make treacherous mistakes every single
No, this time was actually clean. We didn't talk about any holes. We ain't going down any rabbit
That's
trails.
true.
We're fine. We're clean.
We were clean,
We made it.
but we did talk about child labor in a way that sounded like we were in favor of child labor. So
Being a baby and modeling is not child labor, okay?
there's
But
rights.
some people may. They're definitely rights. I never said there's no rights.
This is why I don't put our children online usually. Which
We'd
they're
be
all
making
over.
millions.
They're
We'd
all
be
over.
making millions right now off our children.
We wouldn't. The children would be making
Absolutely.
it. And we would not get
and
a
they would
dime
take care of us when we're older.
if they so choose with their money.
All right, guys.
So it's been fun.
Been fun. It is Jeremiah and I need this one. This is what we gotta do. Ready? 3, 2.
Yeah.
Your sign off. Your sign off. Go.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, 8:30, 8 o'clock. Here.
Later.
Good stuff.
That's the old
I know,
thumbnail.
that's what-
Smooth.
Smooth.
Real smooth.
Yeah, listen, let's let people like talk while this is
start eating my chips.
This is an ASMR segment of
Yeah.
our podcast.